I never thought I'd be writing this down. Not like this. Not as some kind of warning. My name is Shawn Warren, Sergeant II Class, Rutland County Sheriff's Department. 8 years on the force. 8 years of night shifts. If you're reading this, you're probably about to start working nights in this county. And there are things you need to know. Things they don't teach you at the academy. Things that aren't in any manual. There are 8 protocols for night shift. 8 rules that will keep you alive. Follow them, even when they don't make sense. Even when you think you know better, because this county, it's different at night. Let me tell you what I've learned. Protocol 1, Code 77. You'll hear it on the radio. Dispatch will call it in. A location, usually somewhere remote, County Road 9 or Old Mill Road, or the access road by Timber Creek. When you hear Code 77, you acknowledge it. You log it in your report. But you never, ever respond to it. I learned this from Frank. Old-timer Frank, we called him. He'd been with the department for 32 years, seen everything. He pulled me aside my first night shift and told me about Protocol 1. Code 77 means something's out there, he said, something that wants you to come find it. But you don't go, you never go. I asked him what happens if you do. He told me about Deputy Garcia 6 years ago. Garcia got a Code 77 call around 2:30 in the morning. He acknowledged it, but then decided to check it out anyway. Thought the protocol was just superstition. He drove to the location on County Road 9, called in his arrival, said he saw something and was going to investigate. That was his last transmission. They found his patrol car 3 hours later, engine running, headlights on, driver's door wide open. Garcia was gone. They searched for 2 weeks. Never found him. Never found any trace. Code 77 isn't a joke. It's not superstition, it's real. And if you respond to it, you don't come back. Protocol 2. County Road 9 between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Don't drive on it. I don't care if it's the fastest route. I don't care if you're responding to a call. You take the long way. You avoid that road completely during those hours. County Road 9 runs through the oldest part of Rutland County. Dense forest on both sides. No streetlights, no houses, just miles of empty road cutting through the woods. During the day, it's fine, normal. But between 2 and 4 a.m., something changes. Cars stall out. Engines die for no reason. People see things in the trees, hear things that shouldn't be there. I made the mistake of driving Road 9 during those hours. Once, only once. It was my 3rd month on night shift. I was responding to a domestic disturbance call on the north side of the county. Road 9 was the fastest route. It was 2:15 in the morning. I thought about the protocol, thought about what Frank had told me, but I was young, confident. I figured I'd be fine. I was wrong. About 5 miles in, my headlights started flickering. Then my radio went to static, nothing but white noise. I slowed down, trying to get my radio working again. That's when I saw it, standing on the side of the road, perfectly still, watching me. It looked like a person, tall, thin, wearing dark clothes, but something was wrong. The proportions weren't right. The arms were too long. The head was tilted at an angle that shouldn't be possible. I stopped the car. I don't know why. Every instinct told me to keep driving, but I stopped. The figure didn't move, just stood there, watching. And then it started walking toward my car. Not fast, just a slow, steady walk. But each step covered more ground than it should, like it was gliding. I hit the gas. My car lurched forward, tires squealing. I didn't look back. I just drove. By the time I hit the end of Road 9, my radio was working again. My headlights were normal. Everything was fine. but I could still see that figure in my rearview mirror, standing in the middle of the road, watching me go. I never drove Road 9 between 2 and 4 a.m. again. Protocol 3, the farmhouse. There's an old farmhouse on Old Mill Road, about 10 miles west of town. White paint, peeling walls, surrounded by an empty field. Been abandoned for 40 years. Sometimes at night, the lights turn on. Every window glows bright, like someone's home. When that happens, you drive past. You don't stop. You don't investigate. You just keep going. I've seen the farmhouse with the lights on 3 times. Each time, I did what I was supposed to. I drove past and didn't look back. But Deputy Reeves didn't. Reeves was new, fresh out of the academy, full of energy. He didn't believe in the protocols, thought they were just stories the veterans told to scare rookies. One night, he was on patrol and saw the farmhouse lights. He decided to check it out. He pulled into the driveway, got out of his car, and walked up to the front door. According to his body cam footage, he knocked and called out, identifying himself as Sheriff's Department. The door opened, not all the way, just a crack, and Reeves looked inside. The footage gets distorted at that point, static, visual glitches, but you can hear Reeves. You can hear him start to say something. Then he screams. Not a normal scream. It's high-pitched, desperate, full of terror, and it goes on for almost 30 seconds. Then silence. When backup arrived 15 minutes later, Reeves was sitting in his patrol car, engine off, hands on the wheel, staring straight ahead. He wouldn't speak, wouldn't respond to questions, just sat there, staring. They took him to the hospital. He stayed there for 3 days. When he finally spoke, all he said was, "I saw them, all of them. They're still in there." He resigned the next day, left town. No one's heard from him since. And the farmhouse lights still turn on sometimes. Protocol 4, radio static. If you hear static on your radio 3 times in a row, you turn around. You go back to the station. You end your patrol early. The static isn't random interference. It's a warning. The first time, it means something's watching you. The second time, it means something's following you. The third time means you need to leave. Now, I've heard the static twice in one night, never 3 times, and I hope I never do. But Deputy Martinez did. Martinez was a good cop. 10 years on the force. He knew the protocols. He followed them religiously. One night, he was patrolling the eastern sector. Around midnight, his radio crackled with static. He noted it in his log and kept going. 20 minutes later, static again. He slowed down, became more alert. Another 20 minutes, static a third time. Martinez followed protocol. He turned his car around and headed back to the station. But he was over 30 miles away. It would take at least 40 minutes to get back. He called dispatch, told them he was returning to base. Dispatch acknowledged. That was the last anyone heard from him. His patrol car was found the next morning, parked on the side of the highway about halfway back to town. Engine off, doors locked, empty. Martinez was never found. The only clue was his dash cam footage. It showed him driving, normal, routine. Then, about 5 minutes before the car stopped, the footage starts glitching. You can see something in the back seat, just for a frame or two. A shadow, a shape. Then the footage cuts out completely. 3 static bursts means it's already too late. Protocol 5, the hitchhiker. There's an old man who appears on County Road 12, usually around 10 p.m. He's always in the same spot, standing by the side of the road with his thumb out. He looks harmless, elderly, maybe 70 or 80, wearing old clothes, a jacket, a cap. He looks cold. He looks like he needs help. You never stop for him. You never pick him up. You drive past like he's not even there. Because he's not really there. Not anymore. I've seen him 4 times. Each time I've driven past. Each time I've watched him in my rearview mirror. And each time after I pass, he disappears. Not like he walks away, he just vanishes. 1 second he's there, the next he's gone. But Deputy Palmer stopped for him. Palmer was compassionate. She saw the old man and couldn't just drive by. She pulled over, offered him a ride. According to her later testimony, the old man got in the back seat. He didn't say much, just nodded and smiled. Palmer asked where he was going. He pointed down the road and said, "Just up ahead, not far." She drove for about 5 miles. The whole time she kept glancing in her rearview mirror, checking on him. But something was wrong. Each time she looked, he seemed different. Older, thinner, his face more hollow. She asked if he was okay. He didn't respond, just kept staring out the window. Then he spoke. "This is where I died," he said, "right here, 60 years ago." Palmer looked back at him. The seat was empty. She pulled over, hands shaking, checked the back seat. Nothing. No sign anyone had been there. But when she looked in her rearview mirror again, she saw him, standing on the side of the road behind her car, watching her. She drove away, fast. Didn't stop until she reached the station. She still works here, but she doesn't do night shifts anymore. And she never stops for hitchhikers. Protocol 6, your name on the radio. If dispatch calls your name, your actual first name, not your badge number or call sign, you don't respond. I know it sounds strange, but it's one of the most important protocols. Dispatch will only use your badge number, always. That's standard procedure. If they use your name, it's not really dispatch. It's something else. I heard my name once. About 2 years ago, I was on patrol. Quiet night, nothing unusual. Then my radio crackled. Shawn. A woman's voice, calm, professional. Sounded just like Emma, our night dispatcher. "Shawn, we need you to respond to a call." I reached for my radio, almost keyed up to respond. But something made me stop. Emma never uses first names. None of our dispatchers do. It's always badge numbers. I didn't respond, just kept driving. The radio crackled again. "Shawn, I know you can hear me. Please respond." Still, I didn't answer. Then the voice changed. It got deeper, harsher. "Shawn Warren, respond, now." I turned my radio off, drove straight back to the station. When I got there, I asked Emma if she'd called me. She said no. She'd been on a different channel all night, hadn't radioed any units for over an hour. I checked the logs. No transmissions to my unit during that time. Whatever called my name, it wasn't dispatch, and I'm glad I didn't answer. Protocol 7. The fog. Rutland County gets fog sometimes. Normal fog, especially in fall and early spring. That's fine. That's natural. But sometimes the fog appears suddenly. One moment the road is clear, the next you're surrounded by thick gray fog so dense you can barely see your hood. When that happens, you pull over immediately. You put the car in park, but you don't turn off the engine. You sit there. You wait. You don't get out. You don't open your windows. You just wait. The fog will pass. Could be 5 minutes. Could be an hour. But it will pass. And whatever you do, don't follow any lights you see in the fog. I've been caught in the fog twice. Both times I followed protocol. Pulled over, stayed in my car, waited it out. The first time, I didn't see anything. Just gray fog pressing against my windows. After about 20 minutes, it cleared. The second time was different. I was on Highway 6, about 15 miles from town. The fog rolled in fast. One second I had clear visibility, the next I couldn't see anything. I pulled over, put the car in park, sat there with my hands on the wheel, engine running. After a few minutes, I saw a light, faint, yellow, moving through the fog to my left. It looked like a flashlight, like someone was walking out there searching for something. I almost got out, almost grabbed my own flashlight and called out, asking if they needed help. But I remembered the protocol. Don't follow the lights. So I sat there, watched the light move back and forth through the fog. Getting closer, then I heard tapping on my window. Soft at first, just a gentle tap, 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 like someone knocking politely. I didn't look, kept my eyes straight ahead. The tapping got louder, more insistent. Then a voice, muffled through the glass. Help me, please. I'm lost. It sounded desperate, scared, human, but I didn't look. I didn't respond. I just sat there, hands gripping the wheel, staring straight ahead into the fog. The tapping stopped. The voice went quiet. 5 minutes later, the fog cleared. I looked around. No one there. No footprints. Nothing. Just me, alone on an empty highway. I don't know what was outside my car that night, and I'm glad I never found out. Protocol 8, the last call. This is the most important protocol, the one that can save your life if you follow it, the one that can kill you if you don't. During night shift, you work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., 12 hours. The last 10 minutes, from 5:50 to 6 o'clock, you do not respond to any calls, no matter what dispatch says, no matter how urgent it sounds. You're heading back to the station. You're almost done. Those last 10 minutes, you're off duty. Because those last 10 minutes, the county is at its most dangerous. Something knows when your shift is ending. Something knows you're tired, vulnerable, ready to go home, and it calls to you. Dispatch will get a call, a real emergency, someone in trouble, someone who needs help right now, and you're the closest unit. You're only 5 minutes away. You could save them, but you don't go. You return to base. You let day shift handle it. Because if you respond to that last call, you won't make it to 6 a.m. I've heard the last call 3 times. Each time I followed protocol. Each time I drove straight back to the station, but Deputy Williams didn't. Williams was a veteran, 15 years on the force. Good cop, dedicated, always willing to help. His last shift, he got a call at 5:52 in the morning. Domestic violence in progress. Woman screaming for help. Address was only 3 miles from his location. Williams was almost back to the station, 2 minutes away. He could have let day shift take it, but he didn't. He turned around, responded to the call. At 5:55, he radioed that he was on scene, said he was approaching the house. At 5:58, he radioed again, said something was wrong. The house was empty, no one there. At 5:59, his radio went to static. At 6 o'clock, his signal disappeared completely. They found his patrol car at 6:30, parked in front of an old house on Morrison Street. Engine running, lights on, empty. Williams was gone. They searched the house. Nothing. Searched the neighborhood. Nothing. Williams was never found. The last call isn't real. It's a trap. And if you answer it, you're gone. Those are the 8 protocols. 8 rules that every deputy in Rutland County learns. 8 rules that keep us alive. Follow them. Don't question them. Don't try to be a hero. Just follow them. I've been following these protocols for 8 years now. 8 years of night shifts. 8 years of strange calls, weird sightings, and things I can't explain. And I'm still here. But something's changing. I can feel it. The protocols used to be enough, used to keep us safe. But lately things are getting worse. Code 77 calls are coming in more frequently, 2 or 3 times a night now instead of once every few weeks. The fog appears more often, thicker, lasting longer, and the last call, it's getting more convincing, more desperate, harder to ignore. Last week I got a last call at 5:53 in the morning, a child crying for help, said her parents were hurt, said she was scared. I almost turned around, almost responded, but I didn't. I kept driving back to the station, just like the protocol says. When I got there, Captain Morrison was waiting for me. He looked tired, older than I'd ever seen him. "You heard it," he said. Not a question, a statement. I nodded. "It's getting stronger," he said. "Whatever's out there, it's getting stronger. The protocols are holding it back, but I don't know for how much longer." "What is it?" I asked. "What's really out there?" Morrison looked at me for a long moment. "I don't know," he finally said, "and I don't think we want to find out." He handed me a file, old yellowed papers, records going back decades, every deputy who's disappeared in Rutland County, he said. 43 people over the last 60 years, all on night shift, all because they broke a protocol. I flipped through the file. Garcia, Martinez, Williams, Reeves, and dozens more I'd never heard of. "Why doesn't anyone leave?" I asked. "Why do we keep working here?" Morrison smiled sadly. "Because someone has to. Someone has to patrol these roads. Someone has to follow the protocols. If we don't, if we abandon this county at night." He trailed off. "What?" I asked. "What happens? It spreads." That was 3 days ago. Since then, I've been thinking a lot about this job, about this county, about whether I can keep doing this. And tonight, something happened that made me realize I need to write this all down. I need to leave a record, just in case. It started normal enough. I came on shift at 6 in the evening, got my assignment from Morrison. Sector 4, routine patrol. Everything was quiet for the first few hours. A couple of traffic stops. One noise complaint, standard stuff. Then, around 10 o'clock, I saw the hitchhiker. I was driving down County Road 12. There he was, same spot as always. Old man, thumb out, standing by the side of the road. I drove past without slowing down, watched him disappear in my mirror, normal. But then, 5 miles later, I saw him again. Same old man, same spot. But that wasn't possible. I'd just passed him. There was no way he could have gotten ahead of me. I drove past again. 5 miles later, there he was again, and again, and again. 7 times I passed that hitchhiker. 7 times he appeared on the side of the road, thumb out, watching me drive by. By the 7th time, I could see his face clearly, and it wasn't the face of an old man anymore. It was hollow, empty, like a mask. I radioed dispatch, reported the situation. Emma's voice came back. "Copy that. Unit 274. Continue patrol. Do not engage." I kept driving, hands shaking, heart pounding. Around midnight, my radio crackled with static. Once, I noted it in my log. 20 minutes later, static again, twice. I slowed down, started looking for a place to turn around. I was in Sector 4, about 25 miles from the station. Then I saw the lights, the farmhouse, Old Mill Road, every window glowing bright. I drove past, didn't slow down, didn't look. But in my rearview mirror, I saw the front door open, and something, stepped out onto the porch. My radio crackled again, static, 3rd time. I turned my car around, started heading back to the station. That's when I saw the fog. It appeared out of nowhere. One moment, clear road. The next, complete whiteout. I pulled over, put the car in park, engine running, and I waited. The tapping started almost immediately, not gentle this time, hard, insistent, and then the voice. Shawn Warren. Open the door. It knew my name. Shawn Warren. We need to talk. I kept my eyes forward, hands on the wheel. You can't hide in there forever. Eventually, you'll have to come out. The tapping got louder, harder, like something was trying to break the window. You've been following the protocols. That's good. That's smart. But they won't protect you much longer. I didn't respond, didn't move. Things are changing, Shawn. The rules are breaking down, and when they finally break, we'll be waiting. Then, suddenly, silence. The tapping stopped. The voice went quiet. The fog began to clear. I waited another 5 minutes, making sure it was completely gone. Then I checked my mirrors. Nothing. No one around. I drove back to the station, fast. Didn't stop until I was in the parking lot. It's 5:30 in the morning now. Half an hour left on my shift. I've been sitting here in the station, writing this down, getting it all out, making sure someone knows. Because I don't think the protocols are going to be enough anymore. Whatever's out there in Rutland County, it's getting stronger, more aggressive, and it's testing us, pushing the boundaries, seeing how far it can go. Captain Morrison says someone has to stay. Someone has to keep patrolling. Someone has to keep following the protocols. But I don't know how much longer we can do this. There's a new deputy starting next week, Lisa Chen, fresh out of the academy. She's been assigned to night shift. I'm going to give her this. These notes, these protocols. Maybe they'll keep her alive. Maybe they'll be enough. Or maybe she'll be the next name in that file. It's 5:45 now, 15 minutes left. Dispatch just called. There's an emergency. A car accident on Highway 6. Possible injuries. I'm the closest unit. I'm not responding. I'm sitting right here until 6 o'clock. Because that's Protocol 8. And if I've learned anything in 8 years on this job, it's that the protocols exist for a reason. Even when they don't make sense, even when people might be hurt, even when everything in you screams to help, you follow the protocols, because if you don't, you won't make it through the night. It's 5:50 now, 10 minutes left. The radio just crackled again. Dispatch updating the call. Multiple vehicles, multiple casualties. They're calling for all available units. I'm not going. 5:55, 5 minutes. My phone is ringing now. Captain Morrison, I'm not answering because the protocols don't have exceptions. 5:58, 2 minutes. I can hear sirens in the distance. Day shift units probably. Heading to that call. I hope they get there in time. But more than that, I hope the call is real. 5:59, 1 minute. Almost there, almost done. 6 o'clock. Shift over, I made it. I'm going home now, going to sleep, going to try not to think about any of this. And tonight, when I come back for another night shift, I'll follow the protocols again, just like I always do, just like I have to. Because in Rutland County, the protocols aren't just rules. They're the only thing standing between us and whatever's out there in the dark. If you're reading this, if you're about to start night shift in this county, remember what I've told you. Remember the 8 protocols. Follow them, always, even when it's hard, even when you don't want to, because your life depends on it. Stay safe out there, and remember, some rules exist for a reason, even the ones that don't make sense, especially those ones. Welcome to night shift in Rutland County, and good luck.